Hey, all right, YouTube, you got Brian with Renegade Trucking here, and this video is going to be about me comparing some of the different companies that I've been speaking with during me going through the process of trying to choose a company to drive for. And I'm recording this, if you're unaware, I'm now, my second week out of a 4-week CDL school is complete. Excuse me. And it is my first week. I've just completed my first week on the range. So first week driving the truck. The first week of school was all in the classroom, and then second week is where we hit the range. So in between the first and second weeks, I submitted applications to a couple different companies, and on Monday I started receiving callbacks from some of these different recruiters, and this video is going to be about Freymiller and Stevens, comparing the two and you know what their offers are. So first of all, I'm got my iPad here just so I can pull up the emails from them, and okay, that's going to be annoying. Okay, I thought I shut that off. Anyways, just there we go. So I pulled up, yeah, a couple different of these. So here's what happened was, like first thing Monday morning, I was out at, I could really only take calls during lunchtime, and so I'd already received a phone call from Freymiller, and from their recruiter. They left a message, sent me an email, all that kind of stuff on how I could get in touch with them. So, cool. I give them a buzz as soon as I go to lunch. Start asking the guy a bunch of questions. This guy's like Johnny on the spot, and you know, it's just answered all of my questions, told me all about them. You know, my main focus is on the training program that I'm going to be going to when I get somewhere. And the way that it works with Freymiller is you go out on the truck. Well, since I already have my CDL, I'm going to show up there at Oklahoma City. I don't, from what I understand, I get flown down there, but I don't really have the specifics on that. That's something I'll have to find out if I end up going with them. And anyways, yeah, so going to go to Freymiller, so I'd end up in Oklahoma City, do a couple days of orientation, and the week before they get their trainer list, and that's when they start pairing you with a trainer. So when you go to training, or when you go to orientation with Freymiller, you already have a trainer lined up. So you don't have to wait, like at some of these other companies that get you there for orientation, and you're waiting sometimes a couple weeks until you get a trainer. That's not the case at Freymiller. And now I would assume that you may have to wait a week or two or a couple weeks or whatever to go to orientation if you don't get lined up with the trainer. But I don't know. I didn't bother asking that. I just thought it was kind of cool. And I didn't really have like a set thing of questions, so I didn't really know what I was going to ask. But my main focus was the training, so I asked them about that. And so after orientation, you go and get on the truck with your driver trainer, and it's 6 to 8 weeks, working just off of your clock. Now, I don't know if you start driving immediately or if they do, or the way that it works, but anyways, anytime that you're driving, you're not running like a team operation or anything. Your driver trainer is right in the passenger seat, right beside you. And you know, they're running you through, they try to get you through all the different scenarios. They have a bunch of different stuff that they want to run you through. And so you get all that done in your 6 to 8 weeks, and then once your driver trainer is good to go with you going out on your own, then you come back. I think you do like some sort of, you know, just basic like skills-based exam to, you know, show back there that that everything's good to go. And at that point, you end up, you know, you get your own truck, and there you go. Now you can go be a super trucker. And so anyways, yeah, so that was really cool. The pay during that is $450 a week while you're on the truck. And, you know, that's for the 6 to 8 weeks. And then once you actually get there, let me pull this up so that I make sure I'm getting it right. It's, you start off at 47 cents per mile. And Freymiller is all refrigerated stuff. They are, well, I'll get into that in a second. You start off at 47 cents per mile. After 90 days, you go up to 48 cents per mile. And then after another 90 days, so once you hit your 6-month mark, you're up to 49 cents per mile. There's also a quarterly bonus that goes, it's based on your safety stuff and clean inspection, it's called. He told me it had a lot to do with like your paperwork and everything, making sure your paperwork's submitted. And that can be anywhere between 1 to 6 cents per mile. And that's, you know, it's for the quarter. And so you end up, he said most drivers are between 4 and 6 cents is what they hit on that. So, you know, if you're at your 6 cents, just, you know, your first quarter there, you're 53 cents. So anyways, after 6 months, you can be at like 55 cents per mile. Their average haul length is over 1,100 miles. And they start you weekly, you're between about 2,500 to 2,700 miles. Depending on how much you're able to run, they can get you up into the 3,000s or so. But you're going to start off somewhere around 25 to 27, and that's where a lot of people stay. Other people are able to go up higher, you know, based on your ability and whatnot. All their trucks are pretty new, and if you talk to anyone, they'll tell you that the Freymiller trucks, they spec them out like an owner-operator would order, not like a fleet, you know, bottom line, cheapest truck order. It's a lot of Peterbilts and Kenworths, although from what I understand, mostly the Kenworths go to the team drivers. And anyways, yeah, a lot of like Peterbilt 579s. I think there are a lot of Ultra Lofts too. I really don't know that much about trucks other than what I hear. So, I mean, all this stuff sounds good to me. But yeah, I know they have like an 80-inch sleeper, and they come with a flat screen TV mount, a refrigerator, and a 1,500 watt inverter. Comes on all the Freymiller trucks. And their average, it says their average age of equipment is 1.6 years old. I don't know, I've heard a couple different things, but in this recruiting email that they sent me, it says 1.6. They also have manual transmissions, which I'm not going to have an automatic restriction on my license. I do want to drive an automatic, but this is one of the few carriers that, or at least from what I've seen, one of the few that still has manuals. And from what I understand, they have a lot of manuals. They're 9 speeds. And yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to get stuck in one of those, but you know, if I were to go there, but we'll find that out, I guess. Obviously, you know, they have benefits. They have Blue Cross Blue Shield, Delta Dental, iMed Vision, life insurance, 401k with company match. Doesn't give me the specifics, but you know, you can, if you're into that kind of stuff, you can find out. And also, boom, right here in their little email. Well, I guess that's not going to show, but you call the shots. That's their campaign that they have going on. That is, it's the employee's choice whether or not they want to get vaccinated. They completely support freedom of choice on that. So if that's important to you, that's something that Freymiller has set up. So that was that. I thanked him for his time. I think that's pretty much everything that we spoke about on there. And then, later on I asked, so I asked the freight lanes and stuff, a lot of I-40, a lot of I-10, and there's a lot of beef that they're hauling right now. A lot of beef, and then from what I understand, they do a lot of frozen pastries and stuff too. And so there is going into California and whatnot. They pretty much stay out of the Pacific Northwest. They stay out of basically north of I-80 and stay out of New England. New York City is not forced dispatch, so if you don't want to go to New York City, you don't have to. If you do go, you do get paid. There's a bonus for going there, which I heard in some other YouTube videos. I don't know, I didn't ask because the recruiter told me basically it's not worth it. So no one really goes over there. But I heard in another YouTube video that was within the last 2 years, it says if you cross over the George Washington Bridge, you get a $250 bonus. So I'm guessing that's probably what it is. But yeah, so everything seems cool. It's a lot of, like I said, a lot of beef coming out of Kansas and then like going over to California, or going to, if you're a solo driver, you're doing coast to coast. And anyways, they used to be based out of Southern California, so they still have contracts there and stuff, so there is California. But yeah, that was pretty much that. If I remember anything else while I'm doing that, I'll let you know. So guy was awesome, answered all my questions, and as I sent emails and stuff to him later on, he answered all that. Oh, I asked about a sign-on bonus. There's no sign-on bonus, but if you are paying for school, CDL school, they do tuition reimbursement up to $5,000, and then it was like, I don't know, $100 a week maybe, or a month towards that. I'm not really sure. I didn't, let me see if I can look it up here real quick. Well, I'll put it in the comments, unless if I can get this. Oh, right here it is. It is $100 a month, up to $5,000. So, you know, so there's that. So now let's compare that to Stevens. So the Stevens recruiter called me back. Or, yeah, they actually called me like right after I got off the phone with Freymiller, and so I pretty much asked them the same questions. They walked me through their training thing, which is very similar. You know, everyone tells you Stevens has excellent training. They do, it's like 240 hours, and you got to do set stuff like you have to go to New York City to learn how to do that. You have to go over 2 mountain passes so that you learn how to come down the mountains and everything. And what else are you doing? California, you're doing, you have to hit all of their areas during your 240 hours, and they give you loads to do that. They are all 48 states, whereas Freymiller, they're not 48. Like I said, you know, they're freight lanes. They basically stay below I-80, and you know, it's mostly, seems like they do mostly down more so in the south, like southwest, southeast, and midwest type stuff. Same as with Stevens, you're all around. You have those beautiful black trucks that Stevens has. Stevens, I'd love to give you all the exact specifics, because I requested an email from the Stevens recruiter, and all that I got, like with Freymiller, they sent me all of the specifics on their offer package and everything like that. With Stevens, they just basically put me on a generic mailer sequence that doesn't, it's really just geared to getting my ass over to Dallas rather than giving me any information about it. But, you know, the recruiter was super friendly and helpful when I was talking to her on the phone. But then it was also kind of weird because someone completely different is the one that's like emailing me everything and then trying to call me and follow up. So I don't know why there are like multiple people or whatever, but what's going on there. But anyways, so yeah, so that's that. You start at, while you're in training with them, while you're, I think it was like 600, it was 600 or 700. Yeah, I want to say it was $700 a week while you're on the truck doing your 240 hours of training. And yeah, so you go on, it's basically the same thing there. Once you're done with that, and then, you know, you take your test or whatever, and then you're good to go. And everyone says Stevens has you know, outstanding training and everything. I don't know if you like team with them you know, if you end up doing some teaming or how that works during your training. But they're supposed to have great training, really safe and everything. And from what I've seen from other people talking, like when you get out in the truck and you start making some mistakes and stuff, you know, like they don't get super upset. You know, they kind of walk you through it, and then like how to make sure you don't do that again, that kind of stuff. So that's really cool. Yeah, they have their trucks super new as well. I don't know how they're spec'd out or anything like that, but you know, they are full size. It's not like Prime where you might end up with a lightweight or whatever. But yeah, so that's kind of Stevens. So pay once you go out on your own, you're at 44 cents per mile until the end of your first year, and then you go up to 46 cents per mile. So already at Freymiller, you're starting off, you know, already way higher. And then, let me see, what's the other ordeal? Trying to think. Oh, there is one very, very cool thing about Stevens though, and I didn't get all of the specifics on it because they just mentioned it to me as I was getting off the phone with them. And that is that they have, if you're going into Stevens right now with your CDL already, you get a $3,500 sign-on bonus. Now, when you run the math, obviously that $3,500 sign-on bonus, you know, it's going to take a while, or, you know, won't take very long at some of these other companies to make up for that $3,500 bonus. And I don't know how long you have to stay there to get that or any of that kind of stuff. But anyways, I thought that was interesting. That was pretty cool, that they do even have the $3,500 bonus. So that kind of makes them a little bit more competitive, at least for your first year, a couple months or whatever. And then as far as benefits, I don't have any specifics because, again, they didn't send me any of the stuff. I asked about the next steps. They said next steps for me is I would have to pass a phone interview with them. It was like 5 minutes, not a big deal. They said, but then, you know, the next day they send me that I'm pre-approved to join Stevens, pending my phone interview, and then the following day they tell me that I'm fully approved and they're ready to schedule my orientation. And so, you know, anyways, that's all of that. Stevens seems, you know, obviously they have a bunch of million milers. I really don't know. When I was talking to them, everything was a great experience. It's just Freymiller, the experience talking to them just kind of really blew Stevens out of the water. Plus the offer package is just totally different. So if I were choosing between one of the two of those, I would certainly go Freymiller. But you know, unless if I specifically wanted to go with a larger company or something like that, or I absolutely had to run all 48 states, then I would probably choose, obviously Stevens would be my choice for that. So I don't think you'll go wrong either way. I didn't get any bad vibes from either of them. I am going to be, in this round, I'm going to be comparing the two of them. I'm going to be going with Freymiller is going to be moving on, and it's going to be Freymiller versus Prime is the way that I'm going to be going. So as of right now, Stevens, they've kind of moved to my third choice. I'm going to be looking at Freymiller versus Prime. I'm going to have that coming up in the next video. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps you make your decision.